I'm a dad to George, who just turned 13, and let me tell you, he's a bright kid. Teachers predict he'll score 8s or 9s on his GCSEs, and he's been nailing those grades in mock exams. But socially, it's been rough. George has dealt with some nasty bullying in the past, and while things have improved, he's not exactly Mr. Popular. He's a bit shy, keeps to himself, but when he's excited about something, his eyes light up, and it's the best thing to see. Recently, he was pumped for a project in his personal development class. The assignment was to design a children's toy and give a sales pitch to the class. George threw himself into it, spending weeks sketching designs, tweaking his presentation, practicing in front of the mirror. He was ready to shine. Last Friday was presentation day, and I could tell he was nervous but eager when I dropped him off. So, when I got a notification that George had landed a C3, an after-school detention, I was shocked. George has never gotten in trouble like this. The reason? He refused to do his presentation. That didn't add up. When I picked him up, he looked crushed, eyes red, barely talking. I asked what happened, but he just mumbled, "I didn't refuse." I pressed gently, worried the bullying had started up again. Eventually, he spilled the real reason. Right before his turn, he got a random erection that wouldn't go away. He panicked, asked the teacher to go later, but she said it was now or never. When he said he couldn't do it now and wouldn't explain in front of the class, she slapped him with the C3. I got it instantly. At 13, stuff like that happens. Biology doesn't care if you're about to give a speech. George wasn't refusing, he was just mortified and trying to avoid embarrassment. I told him he did nothing wrong and that I'd handle it. But when I explained it to his mom, my ex, things went south. She was furious about the C3, saying George was disrespectful for not following through. I told her about the erection, explaining it's a normal puberty thing, not something he could control or some sign of bad thoughts, as she seemed to assume. She looked disgusted and said, "Why would he even have one in class?" I tried to set her straight. Random erections are just part of being a teenage boy, but she brushed it off, saying, "I'm not sure that's true." That got under my skin. I shot back, "You might not be sure, but I am." She insisted we needed to present a united front with the school and that George should face the detention to learn consequences. I disagreed. Why punish him for something out of his control? I told her I wouldn't support the detention and would pick him up at the usual time. That sparked a huge argument, our first in years. She accused me of undermining her and sending George the wrong message. Then her mom texted me saying I was setting a bad example by letting George get away with disrespecting his teacher. I told her politely to butt out. George is my son, and he wasn't disrespectful. He just asked to present later. Now I'm second-guessing myself. I know George needs to learn responsibility, but this feels like punishing him for being human. I've talked to the school, and they're reviewing the situation, but his mom is still set on grounding him during her week. I hate that he's caught in the middle. Maybe I should have pushed him to explain himself to the teacher privately, but at 13, in that moment, I get why he froze. I just want him to feel supported, not shamed. So, am I the asshole for refusing to let George be punished for this? Thanks for listening, and if you want to hear more interesting stories, just click the link below.